Hello, Collective. Today, I've been called to do a reading, and we're going to tap in and find out what angel and demon energy is currently going on in each of your houses. So I'm going to choose one card from the Angel Tarot deck for each. I'll choose 12 cards, one for each house, and then using the Occult Tarot deck, both decks by Travis McHenry. I'll select another 12 and we'll put them together. And I have here the Marvel or Magic of Marvel Oracle deck. So I'll pull 3 cards from this deck once the first 24 are selected. And we'll put them all together and find out what messages come through. Please like this, follow, subscribe, share, comment. Welcome to all new subscribers and to those who are returning. And one word or message that's coming through, if you could help me, I feel like I'm being shadow banned in a way. I don't have many videos up on YouTube yet. I don't have many views. So again, please like and put your energy into the reading because that will increase the accuracy of the message that do come through. We're going to call in Archangel Michael. Please protect the accuracy of this reading. Calling in and connecting with the spirit guides and ancestors, the angels and the demons of the collective. What's going on in each of their houses. So put together a narrative with your help, Spirit, and yeah. What's coming through right now is of course the full moon in Cancer. Emotions might be high right now, or you may be feeling called to retain the energies within the self, within the body, which is very much about the 4th house energy. All right, first card out, Angel Tarot, the Tower. Apropos, as the first house is Aries, this is Mars energy. Mars rules Aries and Scorpio. Disruption, warns of disasters, aids in transformation. The latter being, well, no. If there's a disruption in one's life, and the Tower represents our foundations of self and of spirit. Whether you worship at a synagogue or a temple or at a church or out in nature, if you're a secular, what's going on down right now on the planet in your life is for your highest good. All right, second house, the moon. Back-to-back major arcana. I started out mentioning the Cancer moon. Second house is ruled by Venus. So this is about our values, about our resources, about the home, and it's also about the body. If the first house, which it is, cardinal fire energy, this is where our soul incarnates into, our spirit incarnates, and then forms in the vessel, in the body. So we have here Mars and the moon, the Tower and the moon, masculine and feminine. Third house, 3 of Swords, Libra energy, air energy. This is affairs of the heart. I'll read the description of this particular deck, the cards. 4th card out, the Hanged Man. 5th card out, King of Wands. 6th, 9 of Swords, 7th, Knight of Cups, 8, 5 of Swords, 9, the Emperor. These houses are the personal houses. Okay, all right. Spirit's having me separate the personal houses from the collective houses. 10, 9 of Pentacles, that's 9, not Knight. 11th house, 4 of Wands, and 12th house, 9 of Wands. Bottom of the deck, 2 of Cups. All right, so in the first house of the self, Aries energy, we have disruption, warns of disasters, aids in transformation. Second house, Taurus, ruled by Venus, divine revelations, reveals messages, has the power to destroy. This is coming through, yes. So at the top of the reading, I mentioned this Cancer, this first full moon, wolf moon in Cancer is very much about what's going on in the body, and it is, the message to retain these emotions in the body, in the vessel right now, is confirmed here through Archangel Gabriel. Divine revelation reveals messages, has the power to destroy. So these emotions that are in us right now, that are heightened because of this wolf full moon in the sign of Cancer. The moon rules the 4th house, or the sign of Cancer. So we have this double, this heightened sense of emotion in us that is transformative if we can keep it and use its energy rather than lash out, overreact, or project that energy onto anybody in our lives. There's a warning here to keep this spiritual energy of Mars, of the Tower. We're in good hands here because Uriel, Archangel Uriel, this is Uranus energy, and Archangel Gabriel are helping us with this emotional transformation that's going on. In our headspace, in the 3rd house, Gemini, when the moon was approaching the full moon in Cancer, it was for a couple of days immediately prior, in the sign of Gemini. In a previous reading, I mentioned I'm around certain people who are struggling with mental issues, and last night, one of them had an episode, if you will, just past 3 a.m. And this individual and everybody concerned are safe and sound, and nobody was hurt, but I could see this coming for this individual. So we have 3 of Swords. Love and submission cures illness, influences paternal love, gives long life. In the 3rd house, ruled by Gemini. Gemini is about the mind, the intellect, communication, and specifically it is about the masculine and feminine side of the brain. Here with this inner transformation of emotions, and with the Tower energy of Archangel Uriel, which is more about thought here, it's the combination. I always say the 3rd house is that combination of spirit in the body, and then we add the left and right hemispheres of the brain, the masculine and feminine. This work that Uriel and Gabriel are doing right now inside, that you are doing collective, is reaping benefits. It's curing any sort of illness, affairs, and matters of the heart, and is influencing a masculine, which would be left brain, paternal love. Some of you might be dealing with an absent father, or your relationship with a paternal figure is factoring, and with the Tower energy being masculine. A couple of messages of confirmation that there may be forthcoming an argument that Archangel Uriel would like to warn you about with this paternal figure. Also, I'm picking up patriarchy. So if you are in conflict with, let's say, your church, or any sort of masculine hierarchy or institution or principality, know that don't lash out, and when the conflict or the conversation or your energies do meet this masculine energy, it's best right now to listen rather than, certainly before you respond, and most certainly do not react when you do meet. That's the first three houses. In the fourth house, which is Cancerian energy, we have the Hanged Man, major arcana, and represents Pisces energy, mutable water energy. Desire for knowledge protects from liars, evil spells, and bad spirits. The 12th house is very much about hidden enemies, and it is the last house. It's the house of Judas. It's the house of secrets and dreams. With the moon here, Three of Swords, Libra energy, matters of the heart. Pay attention to your dreams, most certainly. Some of you may be being attacked in your dreams. I believe that we're all psychic. And if you are in conflict with any sort of principality or individual, keep your thoughts to yourself, mind your business. For often, many people don't mind their business. They're thinking about you, and that sends energy your way. Make sure you're taking a bath before you go to, or shower, before you go to sleep. Meditate before sleeping. Make sure that you call in your spirit guides and ancestors for protection as you sleep. That's the first message. The other message is that some of you are very, may have a lot of night, 12th house energy about you. For example, I have a 12th house stellium. Did I say 9th house? I meant 12th house. So Pisces also also rules the moon, where the moon and Pisces are linked. And in the fourth house, which is Cancerian energy and moon energy, you'll receive a lot of healing and downloads, and also protection in your dream state. Some of you, like myself, I know all my life have worked in my dreams and in my sleep in helping souls pass on. Many of whom are complete strangers to me, but I know that is the spiritual work that I was sent to do here on earth. Many of my dreams, if I remember them, are me being solo out amongst large groups of people, and we're usually, it's somewhat dystopian or post-apocalyptic, almost zombie apocalypse-like, or alien invasion-like. Where we're out in nature, but also on freeways, on highways, entering and living, or stopping off to kind of set up camp in large abandoned community buildings, schools, office buildings, skyscrapers, or if in a rural setting, along the roadside, in the forests and whatnot. So, fourth house energy, you have the Hanged Man. This is about going inward and receiving enlightenment. And it being 12th house energy, Piscean energy, and here, protection from liars, evil spells, and bad spirits. I would say that you are most likely a spiritual warrior. Some of you, like myself, where we for example, I work with Anubis, Isis, Sekhmet, Sobek, Thoth, and Ma'at often. Kuan Yin, Kalima. Okay, so, fifth house, King of Wands, Leo energy. Eloquence gives answers to those in doubt. This is about the ego. This is masculine fire, fixed fire energy. And here, King of Wands is spot on. So this patriarchy, this masculine paternal energy that I spoke of here, that I'm reading in the cards, is present here again. Sixth house of Virgo. This is about where thought and emotion dance. Thought triggers emotion, emotion triggers thought, and we can be caught up back and forth, my dear Virgos. I often pick up a lot of anxiety within my Virgo friends and enemies, as I don't have Virgo or Piscean energy in my chart. Of course, they still reside within the houses, for all 12 houses are present, and therefore all 12 energies are present. What I'm saying is, I don't have the sign of Pisces that governs any of my, or Virgo governing my houses. So, sixth house is about the mind and the emotions in the body, and how that is currently mixing. Here, for you, collective, it's saying, I think this desire for knowledge with the Hanged Man, the Three of Swords, the affairs of the heart, and the Tower and the Moon energy is bringing through your dreams and then into the daylight in the morning. Oh my goodness. Thank
You
you.
ain't going nowhere without those, man.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yes, I didn't know you lied.
Right on. Um, within your fifth house of the ego, there is this masculine energy present. And I think in the dream state, and with this hangman energy of the fourth house and the emotions, you are protected. There is conflict coming with this paternal, this father energy, this masculine fire energy. It could be your own that you're working through. But as above, so below, as within, so without, most likely there is an actual physical soul that is masculine, that is, I'm hearing, sending those emotions, sending those thoughts to you through the dream state, or at least trying. But some of you, like myself, we're well protected so long as we take our spiritual baths, mantras, and prayers before bed to help keep us protected. Clearing out our any sort of potential attachment from this energy to our chakras, and clearing and keeping the integrity of our auric field. Sixth house, 9 of Swords, Sagittarius energy. I'm getting some spiritual burps here. Purification, protection from the impious, period, religious sentiments. Sixth house is again where the mind, the emotions enter the body and mix here. And this does mention protection from the impious. So this King of Wands, this principality energy I'm picking up, this very well could be religion, patriarchy, that is not of a pure light. You're protected from. And the tower, and it's right underneath the tower. The tower is about a religious or spiritual foundation. So this masculine fire, religious energy is not spiritual. It is not of a pure light. And you're working that out in your dream state. Seventh house, about relationships. Knight of Cups, the revealing God, perception and revelation, discovers hidden treasure, reveals secrets of nature. This is about our platonic relationships, relationships to self. If after, in the sixth house, we have integrated the thought and the emotion inside the body, then we are better prepared to and equipped to partner, to couple with others. Knight of Cups is an emotional knight, sentimental knight of action, of the emotion, of cups. Here with Angel Ariel. And then we have the eighth house. This is Scorpionic energy. This is about intimacy, sex, death, and transformation. Also other people as resources or other people's money. Five of Swords. So there is mental conflict, verbal conflict, and challenges to the ego. Here in the Angel Tarot is, this card reads, this angel's influence is bringing you the desire to know and the acquisition of wisdom. So we have perception of revelation in the 7th house of relationships, moving into 8th house, 5 of swords energy. 5 is a number of the ego, so 2 arms, 2 legs, and the head. And we've been talking about thought and how it influences our heart space. Here for you collective, it's bringing you the desire to know. It's increasing that desire to know. And you are acquiring wisdom by going inward and really looking at and assessing what's currently going on in this egoic change that the tower is bringing, and also the knowledge that the hanged man energy is bringing from the 3 of swords in the 3rd house, affairs of the heart. 9th house is the emperor. Political authority gives safe travel and protects against conspiracies. 9th house is Sagittarius energy, ruled by Jupiter, which is about luck, expansion, the higher mind, learning, philosophy, and religion. So you move from the tower to the emperor. 1st house to 9th house. And this theme of dreams and going inward and regulating the emotions and the energies within, foreseeing, and you should expect a conflict therein, but also, as above, so below, as within, so without. This dream work in the astral plane each night. Hangman. Okay, Hangman is a card of sacrifice, of death in a way. It is 12th house energy. So I've come to the realization that each night, especially with the work that I do for you, the collective, and I've been doing since I could remember as a young child, really, is assisting people. Okay, so you may have somebody in your bloodline, in your immediate family, friends, community, church, who is passing. Actually, many people, with all of the changes that Gaia is bringing through these mass world events, natural disaster events, plus what we on a day-to-day basis do to ourselves, person to person, community to community, nation to nation, is causing a lot of destruction, and people are passing. So I'm picking up, if not in your immediate family, someone you know, someone close to you, or someone that you're working with in the dream state is going to pass. But to finish my thought about each night, I feel that we pass over, we die. Tomorrow is a new day. So it's a new chance, a generation with this moon energy, this tower energy. Each night, especially if we prepare for that journey to the underworld, or to visit Sekhmet and Ma'at, taken there or led there by Anubis, to weigh our heart against the feather. I believe we do that every single night, so that when we wake up in the morning, our heart is going to be light or heavy. And if we do the internal work with this tower energy and this moon energy, especially right now in the full wolf moon of Cancer, we don't have to have those conflicts in our waking life, in our waking state. It can actually, you can do the work in the dream state, so long as you are open and honest and transparent with Ma'at, and Sekhmet, gaining knowledge through Thoth. And do not resist being led to that event each night where our heart is weighed against the feather by Anubis. Don't resist traveling with Anubis. He's there each night to take us there so that we can have a discussion with them on how best to start our new life, should we need to the next morning. 10th house, which is Capricorn energy. This is about the public's perception of you. This is your place in the community, in the world. This is how others view you. You have nine of Pentacles, Virgo energy. Submission to higher order identifies traitors and destroys their plans. 11th house, Aquarius energy, about philosophy or philanthropy, humanitarianism. It's about the mind. We've got the Four of Wands. Rectification helps one live in peace with everyone. And finally, in the 12th house, we have 9 of Wands, universal medicine, elevation of the soul, and the revelation of mysteries. That's interesting because 9 of Wands is the wounded healer. And in my 12th house, I have Chiron in the sign of Aries. At the 11th degree. So this 9 of Pentacles energy in your 10th house, a lot of people see you as Virgo energy, as being abundant, which is a good thing. 11th house, you're a cause for celebration, and you are a leader in your community in this 11th house energy, helping one live in peace with everyone. You can do that, especially with 4 of Wands energy, which is Aries energy. Aries ruling the first house where you have the Tower. Yeah, I see you as spiritual warriors. People who have gone through a lot here with the 9 of Wands. But this, this wounded healer energy of the 9 of Wands is universal medicine here. So many of you, like me, especially if you're a light worker, chosen, an empath, who've had to deal with a lot of narcissistic wounding from your immediate family or from your karmic family. This is why you're here on Earth. And for those of you who have found this reading and don't identify as anything that I've mentioned before, know that this is a process that is available to you. Should you open up at this time and surrender to that process, that death process of sleep, know that you're well protected. You may have a heavy heart. You may have a lot to learn from this process. And it is scary. Dreams, nightmares, or being judged. But as I said, as above, so below, as within, so without. If you do that work in your dream state, you won't have to do that work in your waking life, where it can bring disasters. It can bring conflict, open, overt, dangerous conflict out on your streets, with your neighbor, or with a spouse, with family. Bottom of the deck, we have 2 of Cups. Fruition provides expansive intelligence and gives the grace of God. All right. I hope you're all doing well. Please like this, share this, comment. I would love to hear how this resonates with you. I'm still thinking about the dream state, and it is so I was about to say unimportant. I think the perception, the general collective perception of dreams, we don't take as seriously as, we don't take advantage of the work that we can do, or the opportunity to do this type of work in our dream state. Mine is, I've been surrounded by death from a very early age. And as I said, I have a 12th house stellium, so I attract the dark, I attract enemies. And from a very early age, I know I have been doing the work that I mentioned, where I literally assist souls that I may or may not know in or to the scales, almost as if I were Anubis. I am carrying a palm stone. Is that what it's called? Anyway, this is my stone of Anubis. And of course, this is lapis lazuli, which is a very protective and yet psychically powerful stone to have. Thanks for reminding me of that, Spirit. All right, let's find out what demons are now working with your angels. And know, too, that Yahweh, Allah, if you call them God, Spirit, Source, created all the angels. Yes, Lucifer was God's favorite until he fell, until Archangel Michael defeated him. A third of the angel population went with Lucifer. But God, Yahweh, Allah, did not destroy Lucifer and a third of the angels. Why? Give a guess? Because God can't destroy himself. It makes no sense. So, we have angels and demons in each of our houses that we must learn in this lifetime, in this incarnation, to work with in order to get past our fears, our hesitations, our anger issues, our toxic demon energy that resides within us all. And they are not necessarily fighting as much as they are. God has dispatched demons to trigger us, to lead us, to trigger us with the tower, to warn us of potential disaster. Should we ignore that trigger from the demon? That's no good, because then that demon will just return whenever they choose. But if we are aware of the trigger, and I just heard, if we ignore the trigger, that will lead to a relapse of said negative energy and addiction. All right. This is interesting. How much time? All right, we're good. 14:28 on the clock. 14th is temperance. 28th degree is Cancerian. No coincidences, folks. Only synchronicity if you learn how to recognize it. 9 of Wands, 4 of Pentacles. Sagittarius and Capricorn. 9th house, 10th house. 9th house, 4 of Wands. Sorry, 9th house, 9 of Pentacles. 10th house, 4 of Wands. All right, let's cut this and get 12 more cards. So, along with Uriel in the Tower energy, you have Justice, Libra energy, Astaroth. Tell how the angels fell, reveals the past, present, and future, teaches liberal science. Did I not just explain the nature of angels and demons and how the demons fell with Lucifer? I am that tower. In Vedic astrology, I am an Aries rising and an Aries sun. Justice is the 11th card of the major arcana. I always say 11 and 7 are numbers of heaven. Again, confirming that demon energy is not, yes, it's of the devil, but they're necessary for us to understand the work that we must do in each of our houses, in this incarnation, in this lifetime. I was just having a conversation with a couple I met who he's a pastor, a Pisces sun. Goodness, what was she? Anyway, lovely couple that I believe I'm going to volunteer with and meet up with tomorrow. Where was I going? What was the message? Justice, demons, angels. Oh, I'd met them randomly. I was reading my own cards, and she noticed from across the restaurant, and I turned. I'm here. They're here, and I felt that she was. I felt an energy. I looked. She was looking at me. She kind of like smiled, and then from afar she said, "Oh, you're reading cards." She had just found YouTube readings and was exploring that. And so Spirit said, invite her over for a reading, which I did. And then he came along too. And yeah, it was a lovely reading. They're starting a business in helping other people, less fortunate, find their faith, to heal. And they get some good advice. It was a very good reading. And he was very interesting, being a Pisces sun, because with my 12th house stellium, I'm essentially a disguised Pisces, and there were a few words. He was relatively silent throughout because it was mostly for his partner, his wife, the readings. But quickly, it was understood that this was about their business because there was tons of wands and pentacles out on the table, and we both shared and came to understand how we use the Bible in a very similar way. He calls himself a pastor of sorts, but in his church he does not represent the church. He said, I don't like most churches. or all churches anymore because of how they're organized around usually one or two central figures who then preach and dictate the ideology and spew out dogma. And because that has been the practice of the authority, this is the ninth house, this is the emperor, patriarchy, the emperor. I mean, look at all the mega churches and their leaders and the corruption and the scandals and the money that has nothing to do with spirituality, has nothing to do with ninth house energy. He said, I don't preach from the Bible. In fact, he doesn't. I mean, he'll give he'll talk to people in his group, but he told me anymore. It's like I just randomly open up. I carry my Bible around with me all the time, and I'll randomly open it up and just select a spot. And I was like, that's exactly how I use the Bible as well. And every single time, I find a message that is pertinent to me in that moment, on that day. So that's a message for you, collective, to do the same. It's kind of fun. And that is one means of discovering synchronicity in your life. Sure enough, he did it. He had his Bible with him, and we opened it up. And in the spread that I did for her and him about their business, the seventh card was Four of Pentacles. The eighth card was the Death card, and then the second card out on top of the Queen of Cups, which is the first card out, was Judgment. So I was explaining to them the nature of Plutonian energy and how Pluto is a binary system with its satellite Charon. They have this interesting relationship. And when the Death card came out, because we were talking about business and there were so many Wands and Pentacles out, and then the Four of Pentacles preceding the Death card, I was explaining, you need not fear, although money may be tight, although you may feel insecure right now in remaining grounded in the work that you're doing, you are manifesting, you are planting lots of seeds to manifest in this business venture. Don't be afraid to let things go. They have the 10 of Wands out there. And I said, you're very spiritually gifted and strong, yet you may be carrying on way too many burdens of the people that you're trying to attract into your new congregation, or just internally putting way too much of your spirit into this work. There needs to be a letting go if things aren't working out as you imagined. There's a lot of judgment that they were putting out that they were then receiving. And if that first or second or third judgment call, if the first judgment call is held on to, I judge, I want this, for example. And you put in the work, and you're not seeing any results, let that go. That's an idea that needs to die. So the Death card was out to remind them and to remind all of us now, you collective, that let things go, because it's only when we can clear out energy from within can we manifest new energy to come in to replace it. So death is a good thing, and we have an advantage each night to get judged safely, securely. And if we do have nightmares and there is conflict within our dreams, you still wake up the next day. And it's important to, if memory is presented to you of the dream the next morning, to meditate on it, as I did this morning for about 20 minutes. I just was there, eyes closed, as if I were still sleeping, yet going through what went down in the early morning hours. Okay, second house. Along with Archangel Gabriel, we have Two of Pentacles. Capricorn energy reveals the past and the future, reconciles friends and enemies. This is what we do in our dream state. We see the faults and the conflicts of our past, so we can clear it out, reconcile friends and enemies of those conflicts, so that we can, in our future, in the morning, the start of the new day, that energy is cleared out. Third house, Gemini energy, with the Three of Swords, you have the Six of Cups. Unconditional love. So this Three of Swords, affairs of the heart, you go from the 3 of the 6. 3, 6, and 9 are very, very creative numbers. Teaches rhetoric and languages, gives one a good reputation, makes one beloved by friends and foes. So you go from reconciling friends and foes in the second house in the body with the moon to 3 of Swords, love and submission, influences paternal love, makes one beloved by friends and foes. With 6 of Cups, Scorpionic energy. Death card, Scorpionic energy. Letting go of past conflicts. Letting go of seeing foes. So they then can become beloved friends. Even if not in the 3D world, in the waking world, you can still repair those relationships, those past hurts, and those enemies. You can defeat them by learning to love them or reconciling with them in the dreamscape state. All right, I like this. All right, fourth house, Cancerian energy. You have the Hangman, which is apropos. It's Piscean energy, which also rules the moon. 7 of Cups, more Scorpionic energy. You go from 6 of Cups to 7 of Cups. 7 of Cups with the Hangman, so Scorpionic energy with Piscean energy makes one cunning in liberal sciences, gives true answers on divine and secret things, able to turn others into different forms and convince them that the change is real. Exactly. You can convince your enemies that you are actually a friend, or you can convince your enemies that they are actually loved ones. Did I not just say that, Spirit? So there's a nice progression here from the body of 2 of Pentacles into unconditional love, 6 of Cups, and 7 of Cups, which is 7th house, and the house of relationships. My 7th house is ruled by Scorpio. 7th house is Libra energy, air energy, 3 of Swords energy. So lots of synchronicity and overlap here. We go 6, 7, 7. 7 of Wands causes murder. This is Leo energy on top of the King of Wands in the 5th house. Synchronicity, my friends. Causes murder and bloodshed, tells of things to come, causes the love of friends or enemies, can make one invisible. So in that egoic 5th house, there's lots of conflict and death. Conflict within the egoic self of self, but again, as within, so without. What goes on inside is going to be reflected in your waking life. Seven of Wands is a card of victory, also spiritual protection. Eighth house, ruled by Scorpio. You've got the Nine of Swords and purification, along with the Hanged Man. Nine of Swords is Gemini energy. Hanged Man is Piscean energy. Teaches natural and planetary sciences, lights corpse lights above graves, and moves bodies so the souls may be stolen. Nine of Swords to the Hanged Man. Yeah, so Nine of Swords in the traditional tarot is one in a bed with the nine swords above, and they're just waking from a nightmare, or it's an evening of insomnia. But Nine of Swords is also energy of taking responsibility for that internal thought, emotional process. And with the Hanged Man, I see you have been doing the work. We had the Hanged Man here twice. Am I off? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, that was the sixth house. You got the Nine of Swords and the Hanged Man. So Virgo energy, where we have the emotions and thoughts in the body. That's perfect. So yeah, you've been doing a lot of this internal work where you've been sussing out the relationship between your emotions and your thoughts, and how it creates these nightmares, this anxiety, this fear in you. You are corpse lights above graves, and moves bodies so the souls may be stolen. Nine of Swords, purification, protection from the impious, period, religious sentiments. Killing off a lot of anxiety within yourself and healing those anxieties within the body and the mind and the heart. Seventh house of relationships, you've got the Knight of Cups, perception and revelation, along with King of Cups. So you go from the Knight, which is action, to the masculine King of Cups, teaches astronomy and liberal arts, brings good familiars. Oh, I won't talk about my familiars, or the one that I'm thinking of. But there is a progression here, a nice progression. Did I say projection or protection? Knight of Cups, projection. King of Cups, protection. This is in the seventh house of relationships. So you're stepping into this replacing King of Wands, egoic, and the Emperor energy, this masculine fire energy with masculine water energy. Almost dousing that fire that is the flame of and source of conflict. Eighth house, Five of Swords energy, desire to know, the acquisition of wisdom, Five of Wands. A mixture of two masculine energies, air and fire. 55, look up that angel number, is a number of change. 5 is also the Hierophant. I'm a Hierophant, Taurian energy. Teaches languages, causes earthquakes, overthrows politicians or clergymen, returns those who have run away. All right. Ninth house, you've got the Emperor. Political authority, gives safe travel and protects against conspiracies. Ace of Cups. So yes, this Emperor, masculine fire energy, King of Wands and Emperor in the Tower, is replaced with King of Cups, and this is the Holy Grail. Ace of Cups. Teaches philosophy and the uses of herbs, heals all diseases and disorders, brings good familiars. Got brings good familiars twice. So you are healing. Know that you can heal relationships within your dream states. 9 of Pentacles, 10th house, 2 of Wands. Aries energy, tells of the past and future, can make one intelligent and bold. This is how you're appearing when you do this work. When you exist in your abundance of Nine of Pentacles, Virgo energy, healing the Nine of Swords, 6th house, Virgo, with a Hanged Man. This is how you appear. You go from Nine of Swords energy and feeling Nine of Swords energy, but if you do the work each night, everybody sees you as Nine of Pentacles and Two of Wands, setting your domain, claiming your domain each night in the dreams state, being the leader and the transformative energy of fire, of spirit, to battle with Tower energy in your 1st house, and Justice. Got Two of Wands and Nine of Pentacles. That's great. You're being perceived as such by your community. Speaking of community, we have 4 of Wands in your 11th house and 8 of Cups. Scorpionic energy, guide of the waters, can make storms and rough seas, causes men to die in 3 days of putrid wounds, along with the 4 of Wands. We go from 4 of fire to 8 of Cups. In the 11th house. It is the house of humanitarianism and philanthropy and community and friends. But some friends have to pass away, right? And again, we can do that work within. We need not actually become or come into conflict with them in the 3D world if we do the work internally. Compassion, forgiveness. Final, 12th house, 9 of Wands, universal medicine, elevation of the soul, and the revelation of mysteries, and the Knight of Cups. Second time out, causes all the love that may be both of men and women. Yeshua was a Pisces. You have Knight of Cups in the 7th house of friendships, along with the King of Cups. And then in your 12th house, you have the Knight of Cups once more with the Knight of Wands, the wounded healer. You're taking the lessons of being the wounded healer and you're dispatching your Knight from your King of Cups command and energy, not dispatching from Emperor energy or King of Wands energy. No, you're coming from a good heart space. A softer, more compassionate, also psychic, masculine water, rather than relying on the easy, masculine fire energy. Bottom of the deck, Emperor, once more, controls the weather, rain, and lightning, cures or causes pestilence. Bottom of the deck of the Angel Tarot is Two of Cups. Bottom of the deck of the Occult Tarot is the Emperor. So this battle with patriarchy that we're involved with can be healed in the dream state, escape, and also in the 3D. Should this tower come to you, should this conflict come to you, if you do the work, you're going to be in King of Cups energy. And that is going to, you're going to be in this Holy Grail, Ace of Cups energy. You're going to be able to not only dissipate, well, you'll dissipate that energy and that conflict in the dream state internally first. So that when this patriarchy, these principalities, this masculine fire energy does come, you come in contact with it, you'll be able to not negate it. What's the word I'm looking for, Spirit? You'll control the weather. So you'll be able to control the emotions, the weather, the rain and lightning that comes with that conflict. Because you're in Two of Cups energy, you're in King of Cups energy, you're in Knight of Cups energy, and you have done the work within with the Ace of Cups, the Holy Grail. All right, I think I'm going to call it an ending. I know I said I was going to pull 3 cards Okay, I roll real quick. Iron Man, what are you really protecting? Exactly. Iron Man surrounds his heart, King of Cups, with this iron suit, very masculine, defensive, and offensive energy, very, very powerful. And we do have to protect the inside, especially in our dream state before we go to bed. But if we do that work inside this protective masculine shield, very strong, threatening, powerful shield or suit of armor, Doctor Strange, intention is the gateway to glory. What are you really protecting? And intention is the gateway to glory. You're protecting your heart space. Yes, but if that intention is to protect, and just protect alone rather than heal and then expand, where you can take off this armor, if you're simply protecting, then there's no value to what's inside, which is the most important, which is the strongest thing, which is love, it's compassion, it's forgiveness. And as long as you intend to wear that suit and do that internal work, you're going to be able to take off that suit. You're not going to so often suit up at all. You will not need to. You can exist in your humor, in your wit, in your intellect, and wear your own skin. And couple with and engage with people in your natural suit. Last card. Ghost Rider, vengeance will be mine. Oof. Spirit, come on. You gotta throw in this one at the end. Well, what are you really protecting? Intention is the gateway to glory. Vengeance will be mine. Yeah, if you don't do the work, or if your intention is misplaced, yeah, you're gonna end up like this guy. All of lightning and fire and vengeance, and that's not good. So that's a warning to avoid Emperor energy or King of Wands energy, Tower energy. In setting your intentions, when you do go in with Misty Knight on the bottom of the deck, are you sure it's answers you want? I got that card for myself earlier. I've learned or am learning that sometimes that internal investigative work, that dream state work, I'm often in my head. I'm an ENTP and an INTP. I'm a projector, human projector in human design. I love thinking. And I do it very well. I'm an MBTI Certified Practitioner. I know a lot about cognitive functions theory and how it's worked out. Yet I have not read one book, one paragraph that Jung has written. I simply took the basic idea of cognitive functions theory, learned all of the cognitive functions individually on my own, and then through that process, through that work, through that research, which I did for about a year, I initiated myself into the individuation and through the individuation process. So now I teach that to you. Ego death process. In a safe, conscious way, you can heal past traumas. You can heal your mind and your heart and your spirit. You can activate your spirit through this process by learning to identify egoic triggers and knowing how to. Oh, I got to do a video and a reading on relapsing, because I dealing with addictions or fears or anxiety triggers. There came a point with me where anytime I would relapse, and by relapse I mean not just alcohol or drugs or sex or whatever, smoking, eating, adult entertainment. Anytime I would engage with any of those, I would do it consciously. I wouldn't beat myself up. Even when I was doing it, I was observing what was happening, and rather than just surrendering and running away from the trauma that would initiate or was the source of the relapse. Did I say that correctly? What I mean to say is I was conscious while in the state of relapse, no matter what it was, and I was learning from the experience rather than just giving myself over to the experience and having, it's like when you get a car, when you're learning to drive the car, learn to drive the car. Don't be afraid of or allow the car to drive you. This causes accidents because you're a horrible driver of an automobile if you're afraid of driving the automobile. Drive the car. Don't allow the car to drive you. So anytime I would relapse, no matter what it was, I would be hyper vigilant about what was going on, what were my thoughts, my feelings, the impressions, the downloads I would receive, the sensations I would feel in my body, so that when I would then become sober or walked out of the relapse, I was then able to meditate on that experience, and each time or the next time that I would relapse with said substance or activity, it was less. It wasn't as strong. I was more present to it. So for example, if I were to engage with adult entertainment to arouse myself and reach a climax, or engage in any sort of activity with another person or persons, the activity would change. So I would go from actual intercourse to heavy petting or mutual masturbation, and then it became no contact, but we could just visually allow ourselves to arouse ourselves and go through the process, to the point now where I don't engage in any sort of visual stimulation if I don't have another person there. And I've been celibate for year and a half now, maybe closer to 2 years. Because I recognize all of that activity, all those times I relapsed and would engage in promiscuous behavior or whatever, we attach energetically with those individuals, and days, months, years after, if you haven't done the work to clear that energy from you, it remains attached to your sacral chakra, your solar plexus chakra, your root chakra. This is what connects us to, or connected me to returning to visual stimulation via videos of an adult nature, right? I don't anymore. And if I do, it's, the last time was maybe 6 months ago. And I allowed it. It was a relapse as far as I was concerned. And I did reach a climax. But yeah, I haven't since. Because each time I would consciously, I was aware of what was going on, even as I was doing it, as I was giving myself over to this what I considered a relapse. Something that I didn't want to do, that I was doing, that would bring me some sort of pleasure or gratification or goal. I don't think about it anymore. So now, having been celibate for a while now, cleared out that energy of my old partners, past partners, I know I'm ready for it's almost like I've been in the chariot, major arcana, and I'm allowing spirit to pair me with my next partner, because I think that's the way of the world. Yeah. So I'm calling in my partner by remaining celibate. And anytime that I do pleasure myself, I don't often reach climax, and I'm just cultivating chi, and it's enjoyable and it's fun, and I kind of concentrate on me rather than any sort of external visual stimulus of watching other people engage. So, wow, okay. I think I'm going to end this reading here with the 10 Commandments above my head. And thank you for joining me. Thank you for being open for my sharing. I didn't know what was going to come out in this reading. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you can find it, first and foremost, useful in helping you build that spiritual fire within yourself and cleanse out any negative energies that hold you back, like fear, like addictions, and the negative shit that this full moon may be bringing up with you emotionally, energetically. So again, I appreciate a like, and I would love for you to subscribe to my channel, and I wish you all the best, and namaste.